You've been able to combine your passion for science and space with humour, but I'm wondering how difficult it is to tailor that for children.
It turns out
to explain it.
Yeah, because they can. I mean, and it's the book Beyond the Sky was done with Scholastic, who know they're one of these. The publishers are really good at this kind of stuff. And they said, listen, we'll do this, but we'll do it with cartoons, and we think the tone will be right. And it turned out the greatest experience I have, because I have kids in school who are the same age. So every time we would do a stargazing with Tim Peake or an eclipse, I would do assembly in the school, right? So I get a sense of what they want to know. So I would go in here and they go, no, poo. How do they do poo? And then I have to go, oh, fine, okay.
No, please. No, this is the bit. Look, it's on my card. I want to know how they do the poo-poo.
They have a suction thing, and it's uncomfortable, and it used to be a bag, and it was awful. Like those guys, Buzz Aldrin, they had a terrible. That was like an unpleasant thing.
Sorry, you say suction thing.
There's a kind of there's a special seat they sit on, and there's a whole.
Like
it doesn't. It just
sucks your poo out.
No. The suction isn't.
Space colonic.
A space colonic.
What it means is basically, no, you still do what you do, but like very near to where you do what you do, there is a thing that makes sure that it goes.
And what about the wee? What happens to that?
See, the two things happen. The poo gets bagged up and then shot out the window, essentially, and burns up.
Into your garden.
Burns up.
They burn up. It becomes a shooting star. Genuinely, that's not a thing. They fire rubbish out of the ISS, in the International Space Station, and they let it burn up on re-entry. The wee gets recycled back into drinking water.
But what if you do both at the same time? Then you're in trouble.
If you do both at the same time. Just for the record, when I did the assembly with the kids in school, none of them were as into it as
Talking of kids, my children are obsessed with astrophysics and space, and you. So they've actually video recorded a couple of questions that they really wanted to ask you. Yeah, have a look.
What do astronauts eat on Christmas Day?
Christmas Day is celebrated, and because it's a mixture of people, both European and American and Russian, they celebrate a number of different Christmases, because whatever the dates are different in different cultures. So they eat turkey. The stuff comes up. They regularly get things delivered up space. They have a little tree that they bring out. They have stockings, and they do a tiny version, and then they go and they do their 2 hours of daily exercise.
So I can tell the boys, if they look really hard, they'll see a tree on the moon.
No, not on the moon now. Let's just. This is a thing that's happened a couple of times with Tim Peake on the last one. They don't go to the moon. They're not on the moon, right?
They're just going round the Earth.
And the space station is only 250 miles above our heads. Space starts 60 miles above our heads, and they're only 250 miles. And maybe they're doing huge loops, so they're around the Earth.
What can you see on Earth?
You can see the
M25
You see the M25.
We've got a few more questions for you. Okay, second one.
Yeah.
Where is the most recent planet to be discovered?
Great.
Is it this one?
We discover planets all the time because we're on the lookout for planets that are kind of that may be candidates for holding life. The most recent one I think was one called Ross 128b, just because the stars around it's called Ross 128. Listen, if we find there's people on it, then we'll come up with a better name. But the ones we discover now are obviously a long way away. That's 11 light years away, which is like a long distance away. So we're discovering them basically in other stars and other stars a long way away. But we're discovering ones that we think could possibly contain life, although they look really different. The plants will be red or dark, but black the leaves, because the light coming from the sun is different. They'll be really.
The next question.
I'm imagining you as a boy with that colander in your head. You have to tell it that story. What did you do? Do the actions.
What did you do?
When you used to wear the colander.
Hold on a second. He's got two more questions to answer. This one is my one, and I kind of forced them to ask this one.
Go on.
How does Santa get round the world in one day?
An excellent question, and the answer is, of course, magic. But Santa's journey, people have done this and they have to work out how fast Santa has to be travelling, and it's on this side. Nothing can travel faster than light, and he's just about here. If you imagine, it's like 97% of light speed, so he's just on the right side for it to be possible. If he had to do any more, it would get into the realm of being impossible, but he's just
But it is possible.
Oh, well, yeah.
Of course it is, because
of course it is.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, it happens, so therefore it's possible.
Okay, last one. Here we go.
Is time travel possible?
We don't know yet if it's possible. We think, thanks to Hawking, actually, it said that we probably can't go backwards. so...
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, because that's the one everyone wants to do. Everyone wants to go back and see stuff. No one wants to go forward.
And get
on.
on.
Well, you wouldn't be able to, but everyone you know would be gone.
Yeah.
So if it is, it would possibly maybe to a wormhole where space kind of wraps over itself and stuff. It's highly unlikely. But the other really good argument about time travel is if it happened, we'd already know because people would have come back.
Do you know, space travel and all that sort of stuff is something that actually freaks me out. So I actually kind of go, la, la, la. I don't like the idea of being in a rocket and looking down at Earth. But listening to you, you're making it really interesting.
This is what we've been doing. We've been doing our Stargaze for 10 years, and I'm not a scientist, but I'm a huge fan of it, and I'm in love with it. I have a science background, and so this book is like 300 pages of actually loads of science, tons of science, and gags and cartoons and fun. But because that is the perfect age. 7-12 is the perfect age where it's like, this is amazing. This is great.
I could actually get into. I'm clearly going to have to read a book aimed at 8-year-olds, and that will get me in.
Listen, I thought that might be pitching it too high, but then I saw how excited you were about the food discussion earlier. So it seems this book has found its home. Charlie.
Dara O Briain, you're out of this world. Thank you
very
so
much.